football. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? Your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so we got some news in one of my favorite weight classes. And for those of you who watch me, you guys know that this is one of my favorite weight classes. There's some motion, there's some action, and there's some things you guys can look forward to in the light heavyweight division because, you know, boxing's knockout king, one of the scariest men in boxing. One of the best fighters in boxing who really doesn't get the credit he deserves. But we'll talk about that later on in the video. Artur Beterbiev-Callum Smith. It looks like they have some progression as to what's going to happen with their fight. This has obviously been a fight that's been discussed. Potential fight that's been discussed as Callum Smith is Artur Beterbiev's mandatory challenger. And you know, Bob Arum, Top Rank, the fine folks over there, the Bob father, it looks like they have secured the promotional rights to this fight because it was reported that Bob Arum wound up bidding $2.15 million. Eddie Hearn only bid $2.1 million on the fight. So Bob Arum secures the promotional rights, the TV rights, everything to this fight, outbidding Eddie Hearn by just like 15 grand, like just by the slimmest of margins. So with that being said, you could expect this fight to be in Montreal, which is where we know Artur Beterbiev has been a Canadian citizen for many years and has a good fan base out there. And it'll be a fun fight. You know, I've never been to Montreal. I got some Canadian subscribers. Shout out to my boy Usam, the fanboy killer. Listen, if this fight is going to Montreal like I think, then this is a fight that I'm very interested in attending because I've never been to Canada, and I love watching Artur Beterbiev fight. Now, as far as the fight is concerned, let's talk about just Callum Smith and like what exactly are his chances, because if we look at like Beterbiev's recent fight against Anthony Yarde, he still showed that he's like, you know, one of, if not the top light heavyweight in the world. You know, we don't really know who that is until Dimitri Bivol and him get in there and settle that dispute. But you know, we saw that despite him being as great as he is, you know, he's beginning to look every bit his age. He's beginning to look like that of a guy who is, what is it, like 37 or 38 years old. Because Anthony Yarde was hitting him, and there's nothing wrong getting hit in boxing, but he was getting hit probably a little bit too easy and a little bit too much, right? So you look at Callum Smith, you look at, you know, his recent performances at 175. You know, Callum Smith, a lot of people think he's got a chance going into this fight. Now, it's hard for me to really say how good Callum Smith is as a light heavyweight because although he has been looking impressive and getting knockouts, I think the guys he's been fighting have been kind of made to order for him. They've been guys in the rankings, ranked fighters, but guys in the rankings that were perfect for his style. Like, you look at Lennon Castillo, cannon fodder type of opponent, not doesn't have any real punching power to worry or trouble Callum Smith. Doesn't have the physical strength like a John Ryder did that could possibly trouble Callum Smith. So Callum Smith, to his credit, you know, with Buddy McGirt, he's starting to fight like a bigger fighter now, and he's finally realized he's 6'3", and he's fighting as such. But it's very hard to rate him as a 175 pounder to me because he fought two guys who when they throw punches at him, he didn't have anything to worry about. He could kind of walk them down in a high guard and beat the shit out of them. And that's what he did. And he did it in great fashion, so I give him all the credit in the world. But, you know, Callum Smith fighting Beterbiev is going to be very interesting because we don't know how really good Callum Smith is. Beterbiev, at 175, Beterbiev is getting older. And I hope Beterbiev wins this fight because, for one, you know, I feel like I'm like most of you guys. I want to see the Bivol Beterbiev undisputed fight. If it's not even if Mauricio Sulaiman is still on that BS and doesn't want to allow them to fight for the WBC belt, and it's only for 3 of the belts, that's still good enough for me. That's a fight I gotta see, and I gotta see soon. So when Bivol fights Canelo, hopefully he does what he needs to do. When Beterbiev fights Smith, hopefully he does what he needs to do, because if there was ever a fight in boxing we needed to see, this is damn sure one of them. You know, the best pure boxer in the sport versus the best knockout artist in the sport. I mean, what more could you want? What more on God's could you want than Beterbiev versus Bivol? That's how I see it. But you know, as far as You know, this fight, also, right? Artur Beterbiev is a guy I just think doesn't get the credit he deserves. Like, I see a lot of pound-for-pound lists. I see ESPN. I see Ring Magazine. I see a lot of pound-for-pound lists, and I oftentimes see Artur Beterbiev left off the pound-for-pound list. And listen, man, most of these fighters on the pound-for-pound list, I've seen them all fight live. Like Errol Spence, I've seen fight live. Crawford, I've seen fight live. Canelo, I've seen fight live. I've seen all these guys fight live. And I can say, hand on heart, without a shadow of a doubt, you know, because I saw Beterbiev fight last year against Joe Smith. He's one of the best fighters I've ever seen fight live, point blank, period. And he's, you know, he's had, what is it, 18 or 19 fights in the pros, all knockouts, and against good fighters too, you know, top guys. He's ruined some fighters. Like he ruined Alexander Gvozdyk when Gvozdyk was a blue chip, you know, supposed to be the next big thing in light heavyweight. Ruined him, changed the whole trajectory of his career, and we didn't see or hear from Gvozdyk for a couple years. And this guy has a 100% knockout ratio. You know, 3 belts. I mean, I don't know what more he has to do to get the recognition he deserves. So just for the sake of him getting the credit he deserves, which I know he doesn't care about, because he's a guy that's just like, he's a man's man. Like, he doesn't care about the fame. He doesn't care about being popular. I know from talking to him and his coaches, like, not him, but his coaches, John Scully and Russ Amber last year, that this is a guy that really does not care about boxing outside of his own boxing. Like, literally, like he just goes to the gym, he trains his ass off, goes back to his family, takes care of them, goes into the ring, knocks someone the fuck out, goes back home to his family. Like, that's literally what he does. He doesn't know who, even like a lot of these fighters who are big names to us boxing fans, he probably doesn't even know who they are outside of his weight class. So that's the kind of level of focus this man has. That's the kind of level of discipline this man has. And he's not really into the diva shit. So that's why I oftentimes feel like he gets overlooked. And I really want to see him get that big fight against Bivol, because I feel like win, lose, or draw, just the fact that fight happens, I feel like that will give him and Bivol both the credit that they deserve. Just being honest. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Top Rank secures the fight. Secures the promotional rights and the TV rights for this fight with Beterbiev and Callum Smith. They win the purse bid, and more than likely that probably means the fight's going to Montreal. So if this fight's in Montreal, you know, I found a way to get here to Japan. If little old BT can find a way to get across the sea to the land of the rising sun to Japan, then there's absolutely, positively no reason why I can't find a way to get to Canada. So for my Canadian subscribers, if any of you want me to come out to Canada for this fight when it gets announced, the official date, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, just let me know anything regarding this fight in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from dang it. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.